Welcome to Dr. Kush's Exotic Drinks. I'm, of course, Dr. Kush, along with my barback Kyle. I'm not a real doctor, but I did spend almost 2 decades running some of LA's best bars. After years of teaching classes and training bartenders, I want to demystify the cocktail world for you. Let's try a few new things as I open up my bar to everybody. Belly up, chat, and let's have a drink. All right, everybody, welcome to Dr. Kush's Exotic Drinks. I am Dr. Kush. We have an incredibly special version of Dr. Kush's Exotic Drinks tonight. We have a guest. We have not had a guest in a very, very long time, and we have not had this guest in a very long time. We literally sat around. We had to wait until she wrote a second freaking book, and she did. It is called this guy. It's called Aether Crossed. Aether Crossed. Aether Crossed. We're gonna cross it. All right. Whatever it is, whatever's in front of us, we're gonna cross that thing, and we're gonna cross it with author Megan Haskell. That is what we're up to tonight. We are going to be making cocktails from her book. Now, you may look me right in the eyes, and you may say, Dr. Kush, books don't have cocktails. Well, turns out they do. Turns out this one, as a matter of fact, is one of the only books that I've ever read. I haven't read this one fully yet. This is one of the only books that I've ever seen that has a cocktail menu buried deep within. And if you are interested in getting this cocktail menu, well, where can you go? meganhaskell.com, and you can still get this. This is a cocktail menu created by who? Dr. Kush's Exotic Drinks. So hopefully you guys are able to do that. We're going to be making a cocktail. Some of these cocktails, I've sort of curated a lot of this cocktail menu. Some of these are things that have been made before, but some of them have never been made before. And one of the cocktails we're making tonight, if you have been following the show for a long time, you may have already had my Love, Blood, and Zombie. That is what we are making tonight. It is a cushtender original. So listen. Hopefully, well, that's interesting to you because that's what the whole show is. So let's hang out here for a second with Megan. This should be done in about an hour. So if you guys just have an hour to sit and spend, drink your drinks. If you guys have any questions, you let me know and I will ask them. And hopefully we will have a prize for best question. I don't know what that prize is yet, but we're going to figure it out. There's an issue with my computer. I can't see a lot of the comments that came beforehand. So I'm going to start right here with a hey-o to our friend Tiki Tom. Tiki Tom is at a Christmas event tonight with Mrs. Tiki Tom. So Tiki Tom will not be here tonight. Let's all keep the Tikis in the front of our thoughts because we love the Tikis, the Mr. and the Mrs., and glad that they're out there doing that. Let me say hello over here to our friend Shawnee Panabaker. The only 2 sanctioned nicknames for him, Shawnee P or the Bread Man. People keep trying to sneak Muffin Man in there, and I am all about rules. The rules are you call him Shawnee P or you call him the Bread Man. Let me say hello to our good friend Bon Bon. Bon Bon sent me an array of gorgeous drinks today, and this is not a threat. It's a little bit of the threat. We are going to make those drinks. So get ready. Those look amazing. I saw that there was some Fernet flowing through there, some Falernum flowing through there. The 2 good Fs were just deep in there, and that's what we like. Here is our brave warrior against the moose race, Espen. Espen took his Jaguar out there, felt the moose were coming too close. He dispatched of that moose. So congratulations to Espen. Good to see you, pal. A lot of very inside jokes today. I figured we'd go way inside baseball today. That's how we're doing it. Let me say hello to our good friend Jay Carter, party starter. Bow, bow, bow. The thing's not working. Hey, Jay. How are you, pal? Oh, lanterns, yells Kyle. You couldn't have yelled that earlier? Turn on the lanterns. There we go. Had a lot to do before I didn't turn on the lanterns. Okay. Oh, Susan is here. Cheers to you, Susan, as well. This is an absolute Saturday class. Let's say hello. They do have cocktails. I saw it in person last week. Who are we talking about? I don't know. I lost the thread there. I probably should read this. I have another bottle of booze for Dr. Kush, but he doesn't text me back. What? Text me again. See if I text you back. And let me say hello over here to our very, very prestigious winner of the 2023 Kushtaki Derby. That is DC Debbie Clark. She is ready and able, and turns out willing to watch the show. And that's all we need. We need ready, willing, and a little bit of able. Let's start off here. I'm going to bring on our guest. Now, normally what happens is I will make a drink without the guest. I feel like the guest is so important to these shows. So I have pre-made my guest a cocktail. I'm just going to make a daiquiri, just so we have something to sip on before we get into this little interview situation. So before I bring, you know what? Let's not do anything before. Let me just bring on my guest. My guest is an author. She is an award-winning author of all kinds of wonderful books. We're going to talk about some of her other books. We're going to talk about her newest book. If you're interested in buying her newest book or reading her newest book, I suppose you'd have to buy it to read it. Go to meganhaskell.com. Let me bring on my good friend. Oh, Megan, I brought you on in such a tiny little thing. There we go. There's my friend, Megan Haskell. How are you, Megan Haskell?
Good. How are you doing?
Thank you. It's so good to see you, Megan. Always. First of all, I love that you're wearing a shirt promoting yourself.
Well, I mean, that's what you do on these things, right?
Only the bravest of us would ever wear a shirt promoting ourselves. Maybe next time you get a shirt that has your whole face on it.
I actually have one, another one that's, so my other series is the Sanyare Chronicles, and it has carnivorous pixies in it.
Sure.
And so I hired someone to make a carnivorous pixie drawing. It's like a moon, and then it says Megan Haskell, author. So I wear that to events too.
Yeah. Honestly, why not? Why not? If we can't, we're gonna wear our faces on our head anyway. We might as well wear what we're thinking on our shirts,
right?
And go from there. So
last time I wore your face on my shirt, so you know.
Yes, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
it feels right. It feels like the right thing to do. Okay, Megan, I'm just gonna. I feel like it's nice. We're sitting here, we're chatting at a bar. It's nice for us to just sit and chat and have, maybe a drink together. So I know that I sent along with the rest of your care package.
Yes.
I sent you a bottle that looks very much like it is a reused Modelo bottle. That's the one right there. You found it. That's right there, Megan. That's a daiquiri. It's ready to go. Ooh. So I'm just going to make this as we begin our talk.
I'm just going to pour mine and start drinking, if that's all right.
That's Megan, please. Don't wait for me to tell you what to do. You hit that hard, and you hit it often. For most of us, we know how to make a daiquiri. You guys have been watching me long enough. A daiquiri is the way that we make it here, 2 ounces of a rum. I'm going to be using a rum that we're going to be using later on in this tonight. We're going to be making this drink with Myers rum. We're going to be putting in 3/4 of an ounce of lime and 3/4 of an ounce of sugar syrup. That's it. Megan, while I do this, I want to start off with a question that I feel like maybe you get a lot. And I just want to hear if you have, and I know this is perhaps the hackiest question one could ask, but I'm always interested. When you sit down to write a book, I feel like everybody on earth feels like they have a book in them, right? Everybody's like, I could probably do a book, You now have how many books?
8 fiction titles and 4 nonfiction.
Okay. So 12 books we're talking about.
Yeah.
So you had to get over that initial hump of, I got a book in me, to jump into, I got 7 more. What is your routine on, like, let's say book 5. You know what? Screw it. Let's say book 10. You're 2 past that. What do you do? Like, what does your day consist of for writing a novel like that?
Okay, so it depends. Well, so different parts of my life. I'm already knocking stuff over. Different parts of my life have been different, right? So when I first started writing, I didn't have kids. I had a day job, so I wrote literally on the train into LA. We lived in Long Beach at the time.
Would you be just real quick? Would you tell us what that day job was?
I was a forensic accountant.
I knew the answer, but I thought that would be an interesting little part. Okay, so you went from,
Yeah, I went from USC business degree to a forensic accountant to riding the train, writing our ID, writing our
right,
WR, yeah, both things, to being a stay-at-home mom and writer, and now teaching writing. So my path has been a little different, I suppose. But yeah, so different parts of my life, it's been different. So I started out writing on the train. My husband bought me this little teeny tiny laptop that was like the smallest at the time. Like solid state drives weren't really a thing. Like you couldn't just, like it was like, wow. And so he bought me this little teeny tiny laptop that cost way more than it probably should have. And I would write on the train like this. And then I'd write on my lunch breaks, and that's how I got the first book done. And then by the 5th, both my kids were born and grown and had more regular routines. So I would write while they were in school. Now, because I'm doing more teaching and more nonfiction work, I actually wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and I go straight to my computer.
6 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
So you're up. I gotta get this straight.
Yeah.
You're just fine at 6 o'clock in the morning to wake up and just be like, hey, I'm gonna do a day.
So yes and no. I'm not really a morning person, but prior to my work as a forensic accountant, I actually worked in the financial industry. While I was at school, it was like my internship. And so I actually learned how to wake up and be at work by 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Would you
college?
In college? I knew you in college.
No,
I don't remember that.
No, nobody does because everyone was still asleep.
That's true.
Yeah. So I'm not a morning person, and I've tried this in various iterations over the course of my life, and it doesn't always work. But right now it's working, so that's amazing. And so right now I wake up at 6 o'clock. I go straight from bed basically to my office, where I start writing, and it's not always the fastest writing, and I'm not always super, super productive doing it, but I always get something done. And so I do that Monday through Friday. And then the rest of my day, by 7, I have to get up, get my kids up, get the lunch going, do the whole school thing, get them to school. I come home, I eat breakfast, I have my coffee at that point, which my nonfiction business partner is very concerned that I'm not getting enough caffeine early enough. But
right.
Sometimes sacrifices must be made.
Do you drink a lot of coffee?
I do.
Yeah.
I drink a lot of coffee. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. 3 cups a day is my minimum. So, yeah. But yeah. And so that's really what it comes down to, is setting habits that work within your life, whatever your life looks like. If you want to do something, you've got to make it a priority, and you've got to make it a habit, and you've got to just go and do it. So
yeah,
what I do.
I show up here 6 p.m. just about every day. It has become a habit. Your habit sounds way more productive than mine. I show up and drink with my friends. You are up creating. Now, you mentioned that you were getting into, you have now 4 nonfiction books. What kind of nonfiction are you writing?
So
I write about writing
for writers. And
Interesting.
I teach writing. So I have a business partner, Greta Boris. She's a USA Today best-selling mystery thriller author. So if you listeners out there, if you like mystery thriller, she's got her new series is actually amazing. I'm pitching her now, but whatever.
I promise there'll be a big Megan pitch a few times through here. So
I'm better at pitching other people sometimes than myself.
Spread the wealth. I'll pitch you, you pitch other people, and we'll be good to go.
Perfect. But yeah, so she writes, her latest series is a paranormal mystery, which is phenomenal. It's like this rockabilly hairstylist who is asked to do the hair of a client of hers who dies, and so she has to do the hair for the mortuary. And it turns out she can get the last sensations of the dead. Anyway, a lot of fun fiction. But we've been teaching together since 2018, I think. And we started teaching local writing conferences, things like that. That turned into our first nonfiction book, which is now in its third iteration, but it's called Publish. Go figure.
Love it.
Take charge of your author career, because she was traditionally published. She got a contract with a small press publisher.
Yeah.
And I've always
that was not the way you went. You are self-published 100% of the way.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, I've always been indie. I mean, I think it's that business degree kind of haunting me a little bit. Oh, you can do this. You should run your own business. No big deal.
My theater degree is really a big specter in my life too. It wakes me up 3 times a night and takes me through my past to show me how the mistakes I've made. So that's nice that you have a business degree doing that. I have Hamlet and Othello, and
there's value in that too. Story is story.
Story is story. That's about right. Bon says she wants to read a book about a rocker hairdresser. What was the name of that book one more time?
It's To Die For, DYE, To Die For. So the titles are all puns, and they're very good. And the author's name is Greta Boris. But yeah, really, it's a really fun series. I've read the first 2 books in that series. I think she's got 5 out now. 6th one is coming out soon. So a lot of fun.
So did you strategically get with this, become business partners with this person because you had gone one way and she had gone the other, and now you guys have sort of a wider berth?
Yes. Yeah. And that's why we work well together, quite honestly, is because she's a little bit older than me. Her kids are all grown. So she's at a different stage in life than I am. She went traditional, I went indie. We had these different priorities, different goals, that kind of thing. And so what we realized, so we originally met at this local writers conference. It's called Southern California Writers Conference. And that's originally where we met. We were both attending, and we both had a manuscript that was ready, we thought, to be published. And of course, like I said, she was meeting with agents and editors to see if she could sell it to get a contract for it. I was there to meet with editors just to see if it was good enough to publish myself.
Right.
And so that's where we met. And then 2 years or a year later, we both had a published novel. 2 years later, we're like, we want to go back to this conference. So let's pitch a course, and then we'll get free admission.
That's awesome. So yeah, I mean, you were doing it. You have put out a number of I mean, you put out at this point 12 books, but when you started doing this, you were probably in the 8 range. That's an awful lot of novels for anybody to have put out at that point. And then you decide to go be a teacher, which is interesting. That's exactly how I did it. I ended up finding I became very disenchanted with working in a bar and dealing with drunks. Who are the drunks that made you decide to what I'm not saying who, what are the drunks that made you decide that teaching might be the way for you to go?
So honestly, Greta had to kind of drag me into it a little bit. The first course was just us wanting to go to this conference for free. But
nothing like a free conference, nothing like a free anything.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And we were willing to work for it. Absolutely. Yeah. And so it was nice. what I found out was that through that process, I actually enjoy teaching. Now,
Mhm.
I don't enjoy teaching kids where I have to grade papers
Right.
and where I have to deal with preteen or teenage attitudes. That's not necessarily what I'm interested in. But helping writers or people who want to be writers achieve those goals and achieve those
Yeah.
dreams, that's really cool to me. And so yeah, so that's kind of snowballed from there. And so now, yeah, we have a company. It's called The Author Wheel. You can go to theauthorwheel.com if you are interested in writing or interested in any of this and see what we have available. But we do a podcast now, the Author Wheel podcast.
So we can find that just about anywhere.
Yeah, it should
Great.
be everywhere. Should be everywhere. So
okay.
Yeah.
So you're putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
You are.
And I'm getting better at that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Listen, you have to be. I'm saying, as a when I was just behind somebody else's bar, nobody cared. I made a bad drink, I made a good drink. Maybe once in a while I got a Yelp review that said I got one of the greatest Yelp reviews of all time was and everybody knew who it was. The guy with the frock of black hair was rude to me. And listen, this is what a frock of black hair looks like. This is a frock style. But I didn't care.
Pictures of you in the behind the bar. I've seen those pictures.
Yeah, listen, I had a frock of black hair. Now I just can't control it. It's hat time. What I'm so you have now put yourself out there. You have said, first of all, I've put out a number of books, and now I am telling you how I am doing this. What's the worst trolling you've ever got? Like, what's the worst thing anybody's ever said about it? Because I like, some of my stuff sticks. Does any of this stuff stick to you?
So not so much for the nonfiction stuff, because I don't know. I guess we just don't hear the negative stuff. I kind of ignore it. I'm pretty.
Is that right?
At this point. Yeah, at this point, I'm pretty good at ignoring the negativity. My favorite 1-star review, though, for fiction, which was for Last Descendant, which is the first in the Sanyare Chronicles, my debut novel. My best 1-star review. Yuck.
Just yuck?
Just yuck. That was it.
Did it hurt?
100%. At first, yes, it did.
Yeah.
But then I realized, actually, if you read the first chapter of that book and you don't understand that I might look like a soccer mom on the outside, but I'm actually a little twisted on the inside, then yeah, yuck kind of fits.
Yeah, yuck. You'll take it.
I'll take it.
That's great. You've been working now with Gail. Is her name Gail? Greta. Sorry, Greta. You're working with Greta now. So clearly you are working with people that have done things that you have not. You are blazing your own trail. Have you gotten any great advice from these people? Like as you dig deeper into this, which is not, I mean, the reason that we can continue, from the war of arts to, just about every other person has said, like, I can also teach you how this works. There's the reason we keep seeing these books is because this is uncharted territory. If we could tell people how to become authors, we would. Like, what a great career. Like, I could just say, hey, just do this. Be Stephen King's kid. That would be the probably maybe the best advice. What's the advice that maybe didn't seem like it was great, but you followed it and man, here you are?
So I think, and I don't know that this was actually advice that's received necessarily, but it's what I've put together. And it's the thing we preach at the Author Wheel.
Love
over
it.
And over and over again.
We'll take it.
There's no single right way to do this thing.
There you go.
Just what works for you, right?
You
and so, yeah, some people can write, a book a month. Some people can't. And so you've got different strategies for different experiences and different skill sets and all of that. I'm slow when it comes to my fiction writing. I mean, I put out a book a year, which traditional is actually fine. But when you're talking about the indie author space, like, that's slow. It's really slow. But
interesting.
but it works for me, and that's where my creative headspace is.
Yeah.
Everybody has to forge their own path when it comes to a creative industry, I think, because there's just, it's part of its luck, part of its circumstance, part of its opportunity, being in the right place at the right time, part of its talent, part of it's being able to pitch yourself. Like there's all these different aspects that go into it, and you kind of have to get just this right combination of factors to make it work. And to keep going, you know, and then I think the second piece of advice is just keep going. If you love it, if it's the thing that makes you happy, if you find joy, keep doing it. Otherwise, why are you doing it? If you don't find joy, stop. Absolutely. There is no reason to put yourself through the punishment of this.
Yeah.
But if you love it, just keep at it, right? Like you'll learn something new every day, which I love. I mean, I don't know if you know anything about Clifton Strengths and all of that, but personality test stuff. But my number one strength, according to Clifton Strengths, is learner, and that's what I love about this: is being able to learn and then being able to share what I've learned with other people.
Yeah. Before we get into the drink of the night, first of all, I want to say from Sashita Tanika. Do you know Sashika Tanika? Hi, Megan. You look great. When are you going to translate to Japanese?
Oh, Sachika. It's Sachika.
Sachikas, listen.
Sachika.
Nice. Sachika, please. when are you going to translate to Japanese?
I don't know. That's a very, very good question.
Eventually.
I have not.
Let's just say, yeah. Eventually, these books will be in Japanese, no doubt about it.
Eventually, I would love to have them translated into multiple languages, Japanese being one of them. You know, I think there's a lot of room for that. And there's been a lot of talk within the indie author space about how to go about doing translations. Yeah. I haven't gotten there yet, but
with
someday,
this book,
someday, for sure.
This is kind of, I mean, from what I read the first one, I think 3 or 4 times. You sent it to me as a practice reader, and then you found out that my wife is way better at that. So then you just started sending it to her. Smart, really smart. But from what I know from the first one, it does have a lot of like Western gods and Western, that kind of thing. Do you think that this book translates? I mean, Aether Crossed translates across cultures.
Yeah. So one of the kind of things that I like to do that kind of bring me joy in my writing is taking world mythologies from all the different pantheons, all the different world myths, and then twisting them to suit my own purposes. Like that's like my jam, right? And so the first book is definitely, it's Norse and Greek are the two that I took for that. The second book, it has Egyptian mythology in it. And again, I take the actual original myth and then I just twist it around and make it my own. And I have this whole concept where like the gods changed over the eons, right? So as different cultures rose and fell, they had to kind of find a new path, and that changed them and it changed their names. And this is the whole, like, you want to get inside my head, this is where it is. And so the third book, which I'm working on now, features more Aztec or Mexica mythology. And so I'm actually using I'm gonna screw up the pronunciation, but it's Huitzilopochtli, I think.
Yeah. So Shika and I are both we're applauding that translation because clearly you tried your very best, and we love a trier more than anything. We love a trier.
There we go. But yeah, so that one's gonna bring in some more, South American mythology. But that's kind of the goal with the series, is like each book has a different pantheon or a different god from a different pantheon that I am modifying for my own purposes. So eventually, I do want to bring in some of the Japanese myths. There's some really cool ones, as well as some other religions around the world. I do try to pick the ancient ones, however, because I don't want to offend anyone, because I'm not trying to validate or invalidate anybody. But so I focus on the ancient guys. But beyond that, I'm trying to be expansive, I guess.
Yeah. I love that. I mean, hopefully, in your third book, you will have another menu. Hopefully, in your fourth book, I will get to work on an Aztec menu. But I did get to work on a menu in your first two books, and one of my, perhaps as a comparative literature major myself, perhaps one of my proudest moments. So I would love, if you don't mind, nowhere else ever has this recipe been published. I really want to make one of my cocktails that is part of now your entire, I mean, let's call it a decadology. Let's hope for 10 books.
10 books. All right.
10 books. 10 books
Don't hold me
and
to
5
that.
movies.
Okay.
10 books, 5 movies. Let's call it a day at that point. We don't, we can combine some books into some movies. I want to make you a cocktail. I want to make a cocktail with you.
Absolutely.
That is called the Love, Blood, and Zombie. This cocktail was rated 5 stars by the Apostle of Tiki. He is incredibly difficult to get 5 stars out of. So I figure if I'm going to publish it anywhere, why not with my fellow Trojan, my very good friend Megan? Why not in her book? So should we make this cocktail?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay. So you should have everything you need in front of you.
Okay.
For this guy, we are going to be making this into a zombie cocktail, but the problem with the zombie cocktails, of course, it is a very ingredient intensive cocktail. So I have tried my very best to find a way to get that into, yes, there we go. So yeah, if you want to read out those ingredients, I would love to make it from what you're up to.
All right. All right. So ingredients.
Yes.
1 ounce of Coruba dark rum.
No, I'm going to stop you right there, Megan.
Of course.
I'm going to stop you right there because I went out yesterday and today looking for Coruba rum. Apparently there's a shortage. I don't know what's going on in this neighborhood.
All right.
But instead, we're going to be using this guy right here. This is called Myers rum.
Okay.
Coruba it has a very specific taste. It's a lovely, lovely rum. It's a Jamaican rum, and it has the same sort of coloring. Is it the exact same thing? It is not. So what we're looking for is Coruba. If you can't make it with Coruba, I would suggest getting some Myers rum. Myers rum you can buy at most non-state run liquor stores for some reason. I don't know what these state-run liquor stores are doing, but you're gonna get some Myers rum, and we're gonna be putting in 1 ounce of that. Now, in front of you, Megan, you should have a little bottle that's mostly full. That's the one right there.
This one. Okay.
That's the one right there.
All right.
Throw in an ounce of that. Do you have a jigger in front of you? A jigger looks a lot like this.
I do not have it. Well, unless it's an.
Is there anybody that could maybe grab you a jigger?
But no,
no. We're looking for this. Is there somebody that could just grab you a jigger real quick?
Jigger.
We'll just wait for a jigger. I'm gonna throw in 1. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. We're gonna throw in 1 ounce of some of this rum. That's the little end.
Little one. Okay.
Little one.
All right.
Cool. 1 ounce.
1 ounce
of some dark Jamaican
rum.
rum.
Put it in the big.
Little one. No, Megan, please.
The little shaker cup.
You're gonna put it into the little shaker cup. Always pour into the little one.
See?
Because if you pour into the big one, we might have an issue at some point. 1 ounce. Now I see there might be something on top. No, you're good. Okay. No, 1 ounce.
Okay. All the way to the top, or is there's like a little line in here?
All the way to the top.
All right. All the way to the top. Ooh, I am so not a bartender.
You are a writer. You're an artiste.
I got it.
You're doing fine.
I didn't know.
You're doing fine. Okay.
All right.
Megan, what else is in that book? You read it to me.
Next one is a 1/2 ounce of Lemon Heart 151.
There it is. Lemon Heart and Sons 151 proof, 75.5% alcohol. This stuff is delicious. Megan, if you want to skip it and just take that as a shot, I say go for it.
I think I should have eaten something before we.
You probably should have. Yeah. Honestly, you should have eaten a lot Maybe stop at a McDonald's, wherever you are, and get some fat in you. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. This is 11 hard, 151, 75.5%. I think I only put in half an ounce in that. It's kind of expensive. Yeah. So go ahead and put in half an ounce right into your cocktail.
This whole thing.
I just dumped that whole thing. So we need half an ounce of 151.
All right. There it goes. It's in there.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
All right.
Easy.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
What else we got in there, Megan?
The next one is 1 ounce of white grapefruit juice.
Now, you'll notice, Megan, that you do not have white grapefruit juice. You have a slightly pink grapefruit juice. Why do you think that is? Well, these are actually grapefruits from my brother's tree. So This is very fresh grapefruit juice that we're putting in here.
Now, was this the brother that you did the show with just not too long ago? Because
I just did shows with both my brothers and my dad just very recently. So yes, it was one of those brothers. Those are the only two.
We watched the one with your the
taller one. Yes, Alex. Yes, the Adonis. Yes, yes, he is very. He looks very different than I do. I am very. I'm short, squat, and handsome. He is tall, light, and handsome, and that's at least we're both handsome. Go ahead and grab some of this. This is pink grapefruit juice, but you really want, if you can't get white grapefruit juice, fresh grapefruit juice is even better than that. So 1 ounce of some grapefruit juice.
So 1 ounce. We're doing the pour. See, and then I gotta lift this up to that because otherwise.
Yeah, that's good.
Otherwise, I'm gonna pull a Haskell. You know about pulling a Haskell, right?
I have never once heard the term pulling a Haskell, and don't you dare try and steal mistakes as your own. You are part of the human race. Pulling a human is way, way better than that. So you are doing really good there. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and put in, we need the ounce of how much of a lime?
It says 0.75 ounces.
Great. Each lime has about 3/4 of an ounce of lime. Do you have lime there?
I am missing a lime.
Okay.
So I need a lime.
Is there somebody there that can get you a lime?
Yep, we're gonna get a lime. Here we go. Here it comes. Here it comes.
There we go.
All right.
Perfect. Okay, you got a lime there? Okay, so we have a lime now.
All right.
Let's go ahead and so now, Megan, you have you have one of these, a knife? A knife? Okay, so don't cut the lime down the middle. What you want to do is you want to point. You can roll it a little bit if you want. Yeah, that helps a little bit.
All right, all right.
Give it a quick roll. And then what you want to do is you see this middle part of the lime?
Yes.
So point the nipple right at the camera. Then what you want to do is cut it a little bit of like a third of the way down.
Okay.
There we go. Oh, 1 second. Just if you can hand me that. Thank you. Just you got to keep going the other way.
Going there?
Just you got to keep going the other way. Otherwise, it doesn't work. You can, of course, look at what's going on. Okay. Nobody can see what you're doing. Okay. So, yeah, exactly.
All right.
Kyle is a little confused. Okay. So, go ahead and then what you want to do here, Megan, is you want to slice. You want to find this you see that part? Yeah. Slice that bit out.
Okay.
So just cut. Okay. Can I have that? Can I have that? There we go. Thank you. My goodness. That's what I was looking for. You got to teach them. Okay. But what's a bar back to a writer? Is there one? Like an editor? No, I mean, editors are
more like your, well, they're not your boss, but
but okay.
They tell you what to do or how to fix things.
Well, either way. So that's how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, there probably isn't. Maybe barbacks are unique in what they do. Okay, let's go ahead and just squeeze. Oh wait,
so I only did one side, so I got to do the other.
So yeah. So then you search on the for that middle column and slice out all that until, Megan, you have limes that look like this.
Okay.
Like this. Here, I'll bring in this one right there. There we go. So they look like this.
All right.
You got a half moon.
Got it.
You got a full. Yeah, perfect. Now we're going to squeeze these by hand.
Oh
Yeah, perfect. Squeeze these by hand.
Just squeeze them in. Okay.
There you go. Yeah, Bootopia yelling line clam. Bonbon suggests perhaps proofreader. Is that a barback? Is a proofreader perhaps a barback to
a proofreader is like the last step before you can actually publish. So they take a look at the like final manuscript.
I love Kyle, but I don't want him being the last step to anything.
All the parts to writing, because it's the writer does the like 6 a.m. writing thing like I do.
Right.
And then you
a
get
proofreader sitting on the beach, smoking a little doob. Yeah. Okay. They're waking up earlier to read somebody else's book.
Yeah. So I do the whole line.
Yeah.
The whole line.
The whole line, and then when you're done with it, this little bit that you cut, you're just gonna squeeze that in. That should be about 3/4 of an ounce. Maybe it's a full ounce, but we're gonna call it a day. There you go. Yeah, give that a little squeeze, a little twist.
All right.
Perfect. Okay. I would listen, Kyle. I would be not only would I be sad if I lose you, the whole world would be sad if I lose you. You can tell by the outpouring of love that you get immediately. The moment I hurt Kyle's feelings, the entire world comes to Kyle's. You're spoiling him, my friends. You're spoiling him. Okay.
All right. So my fingers are all juicy now.
Oh, is there a way that you can get like a towel coming in there or something?
Could I get a towel?
Yeah, is there like a towel that could be like given to?
I don't have a towel.
There might be a towel somewhere. I mean, is there nobody there that can give you a towel?
Well, there was somebody here. I'm not sure. I think he might have wandered away.
Hashtag Hollywood waits for Kyle is trending currently. Could be interesting. Hashtag
all right.
Yeah, Hollywood waits for Kyle. There we go. Okay. There Perfect. Got it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. So you have that in there. What's the next what's the next bit that we need?
Next bit is wine syrup. 1/2 ounce of wine syrup.
Okay, this is wine.
Oh no, and 1/4 reserved for a float.
Sure. So it's going to be we're going to need anywhere between a 1/2 ounce and a 3/4 ounce of this stuff. This is wine syrup.
It really does look like blood.
It looks like blood. It looks like blood. So in the what I wanted to do with this drink is I wanted to make it so that Bootopia has got it right. It's a floater. We have a floater coming up. Basically, this is all of the ingredients that we have missed out on in the rest of the zombie added into this wine syrup that is very heavily concentrated. It's got a lot going on. To all of my lovely cushies that want to know how to make this, I am shooting this video tomorrow so that you will be able to make your own wine syrup here very soon. But basically, it's sugar, it is wine, it is cinnamon, it is clove, it is vanilla. It's all the stuff that you miss out on, but this is just wine syrup. It's delicious, and hopefully you guys will be willing to stick around for me. If you want to make it right now, all you got to do is make some sangria, put that onto a boiling pot, and boil that out until the wine sticks to a spoon. But that is that. We're going to go ahead and put in a little bit more than a 1/4 ounce. So, Megan, what I sent you should be about 3/4 of an ounce. So put in about 2/3 of that into the cocktail now.
Okay, so you don't want me to measure it this time. We're just
I don't want you to. No, I want you to just look at it. About 1/2 ounce is going in here. Let me say hello to our good friend Stephanie Husband hanging out. Normally, Stephanie is a mixie, but she is here with us tonight as a cushy. Good to see you, Stephanie. Always a pleasure, as we say. Never a chore. Okay, that's it. Megan was saying earlier the part that she was looking forward to least is this part, and that's the shaking.
Yep.
Lots of ice.
Okay. Sorry, before I knock that over.
And a big old shake.
Okay. I am gonna knock something over if I'm not careful here. We gotta move.
You'll be fine. There we go.
All right, lots of ice.
Yeah. Bunch of ice. Oh yeah, look at that spoon. What a perfect spoon for ice. Whoever got that going for you did the right thing.
They knew what they were doing.
That's plenty.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Ready?
No.
We'll get there.
So I put this on top.
Put that right on top.
Okay.
Give it a good boink boink.
Boink boink.
And then turn it around the other side.
Flip it over.
So flip it over upside down. There we go. And give it another good boink boink, like a hard one. Boink boink. There we go. There we go. That's perfect. And then we're gonna give it a shake. You ready? 1, 2, 3, shake. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Get that tongue out. Perfect.
Okay.
All right, what we're gonna do right now, Megan, is this is called the pump and dump.
Okay.
We're just gonna pour this.
The pump
right
and dump
in.
is something very different to me. I'm just saying.
So pump and dump, as I've learned, I do not have any children, but I know that mothers pump and dump is to extract breast milk and then say, "Get out of here, breast milk." I have learned that
You've been drinking.
Yes, over many years. Oh, is it because of drinking?
Yeah, usually. I mean. Okay,
so
that's why I did it.
In both ways, that is a drinking term. Okay, you're coming up a little short there, Megan, on your ice. So put just a little bit more ice in there.
More ice, okay.
Yeah. Perfect. And then we're gonna take whatever's left of our Love, Blood, and Zombie, and we're gonna pour this in. Now this stuff is thick, so this should sink through the cocktail, looking like it is blood flowing through.
All right, here we go.
And this is right here called the Love, Blood, and Zombie.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. That's a good looking cocktail right there, huh? Shawnee Panabaker saying she is a natural. I got over here, I have Bon Bon saying great shake, Megan.
Well, this is the second time that I've been forced to do this on screen. So
nobody has ever forced you. I've asked you politely.
Actually,
don't you dare. Don't you dare. Listen, we are friends. Friends do friends favors. You're doing me a favor tonight, and I love it. Thank you. Grant is saying he's late, but hi, Megan. Okay, this is the Love, Blood, and Zombie. Throw that in there, and let's give this a sip. No straw? I'd say just go for it. Is there anywhere? Yeah, Grant says, Megan, blink twice if you're being held hostage. There we go. All right. Thank you. All right. Give this a sip. If there's a straw coming in, that would be great. Perfect. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
One of my only cocktails to ever receive a 5-star rating on Apostle of Tiki's rating system. There we go. Perfect. Okay. I missed a question earlier from Debbie Clark to Megan.
Mm-hmm.
What famous author would you love to meet, dead or alive?
That is a very good question.
Yeah. Do you have, you were a big reader before this, before you started writing? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I would, so dead, I think I would want to, have tea probably with Jane Austen, because Pride and Prejudice is one of my favorite classic novels. And of course she was writing in an era when, women didn't really kind of do that thing. And it was like, there's this whole like feminist aspect to it, which would be so fascinating to like learn about. So yeah, Jane Austen for dead authors. And for living authors, I don't know, there's a lot. No, I'm lucky enough, I actually do get to sit down with some of my favorite authors sometimes.
That's awesome.
The podcast, we interview other authors and author service providers and things like that. So I've gotten to sit down with a lot of really, really cool people. But the one author who I adore her work, more paranormal romance than straight fantasy, I guess, but is Nalini Singh. She's but she lives in New Zealand and she is traditionally published, so we don't travel in the same circles. But she is like, when you want to talk about world building and how to make a story arc travel across I think at this point, my favorite series of hers has like 26 books in it, I think. And I've read every single one of them. And her story arc just is like the overall, each book is a different romantic couple, right? But the overall story arc across these, however many books it is phenomenal. So I'd love to pick her brain on how she actually keeps track of it all.
Yeah. So I know that you are finishing the second book in what I know already has a third book on the way. How, like, Nolini's out there. She's writing, these long flowing stories. How much of the story do you know before you sit down and start writing?
So I am what's called a pantser, or a discovery writer,
Okay.
which is to say I don't outline, at least not fully in advance. I usually have a few little plot points that I know for each book, and I have a general concept for the overall story arc. Like I know more or less what the character, what her journey is going to be on an emotional level, or on a the what she has to learn over the course of the series. But when it comes to like specific events, I exist in the head of the character when I'm writing.
Interesting.
That's my method, right? So I am actually, like, when I'm writing, I'm in her head. I'm writing her story as she's experiencing it.
And I assume also the other characters.
Well, so in this series is just the one point of view character. So she has to interact with other characters. And so their characters come into the scene, obviously. On an intellectual level as the author, I know maybe what their motivations are, their backstory is, but I don't necessarily know what they're going to say. Or they're doing the thing that, like, it's very, very weird, very subconscious, very woo-woo, but I experience the story as my character experiences the story. So I'm learning what's going to happen maybe a few steps ahead of her. So I don't plan. So like I said, for this series, for the Rise of Lilith series, I am intending to have at least 5 books, probably 6, possibly more. I don't have a distinct end.
10 books, 5 movies.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
We're calling for it.
Don't hold me to that. But no, so like I don't have an endpoint, a specific endpoint in mind. I just kind of go where the story takes me.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason why I write slow, according to indie.
There's been a lot of controversy, a lot of big opinions on this. Do you think that you can only write what you know? You said when you get into a character, you write from her perspective. Right. You are Megan. So do you feel like you could write a perspective from a male's perspective, or do you think you could write a perspective from, I don't know, a nymph's perspective, something that's so far out? Is that something that you feel like people should be getting into, or do you think that maybe honestly, let's write our perspective, life is best viewed from a single window?
I think that people are people, right? So if you're approaching the character from the perspective of they are a human being who has experiences, who has wants and needs and motivations and a personality and all that stuff, then you can write that character. I have the first book in an epic fantasy trilogy that I published. The second book is on pause for the moment, but that series started. It's called Forged in Shadow. It's a multi-point of view story. So whereas Sanyare Chronicles and Rise of Lilith were both single point of view female protagonists, Forged in Shadow there's like 6 point of view characters, I think, in that series that I've written so far. And some of them are men, and some of them are, creatures of other fantasy races. And so ultimately it comes down to people are people. You have to, when I say I sit in that character, I'm experiencing those events as that character, but I have their background subconsciously in my mind. So usually what I found was interesting is that when I get stuck writing, it's usually because I've done something that the character wouldn't do. So so sometimes I have to back up a step, and which again, slows me down, but I've had to throw away thousands of words because I've gone down these rabbit holes that don't actually fit what that character needed or wanted or would have done if it was actually them. So, yeah.
Jeez, yeah, okay. So,
it's woo-woo.
yeah, no, listen, woo-woo is kind of what it's supposed to be, though, right? Like, there's never has anybody given the direct way to become an author or to write great art. And I think that
I
that's
think I think it's true of any of the writing or creative arts that are performing creative arts. I mean, actors, you talk about method actors, you talk about all these different things. And I just heard the O. I was told recently that I do have a little O sometimes when I talk. I didn't know that until just this moment.
I wish my producer didn't tell you that moments before you got on camera, but listen, I can't stop my producer from telling you different things. So yeah, listen, we learn as we go.
Yeah.
Sorry, you feel like that is my producer laughing at that? Yeah, Bon says maybe a slight Canadian accent.
Well, so I grew up in Seattle, which is the
Right.
closest. I mean, I've got relatives in Canada,
Yeah.
but no, I don't actually know where that came from exactly, but apparently I do.
I mean, Seattle to me is basically Canada. You are pushing these books right now. I absolutely adored the first book. I didn't want to cram a book in. You are a slow writer. I am a slow reader. I love to enjoy. I used to read 6 books a week in college. It burnt me out from fast reading. So I am way into reading slowly. For those of us who are interested in reading this one of what I'm saying is a decalogy of books, maybe a septology, maybe an octology, maybe we'll get a trilogy out of you. Who knows? Can you give us a brief explanation of what is happening in these books? What are we? If we pick up this book, give me that elevator pitch. I got to read it. Tell me about it.
All right. She is a bartender who can see the demon on your shoulder. So in book 1, Aether Bound, she discovers that, well, her brother goes missing in this freak ocean storm. She's in Laguna Beach, Southern California based story. And her brother goes missing in this storm. So she has to go dig deep into her own abilities and rescue him from the underworld of Aegir's Hall. And Aegir is the Norse god of the ocean. So that's the first book. And then the second book picks up more or less where the first book left off. But without giving away too many spoilers, this time her boyfriend Silas, who she gets together with in the first book, goes missing. Well, he falls into this magical coma, and she has to go rescue him from Apep, who is the serpent god of the abyss in Egyptian mythology.
I love it. The first one was great. It was it really was. It was a ride. It really took you all kinds of places. The one thing, Megan, that I suggest, if you jump on an elevator with anybody who looks like me, I suggest you start off by saying it is a tiki bartender. She of course is. She's a lady bartender, but specifically she's a tiki bartender because people
if
that
you were
look like
wearing
me,
a Hawaiian shirt right now, I would.
Yes.
And in fact, actually, I've used that. So I go to WonderCon most years now and sell books. I have a small press table where I sell books. And I will pick people out of the crowd who are wearing Hawaiian shirts to that event. And I will say, do you like to drink cocktails?
Ah.
And
I love that.
That's one of my hooks in.
I will just say the tiki freaky phenomenon is absolutely. We are not huge, but we are dedicated. We are looking constantly for more things, that are tiki related. I got one last.
Honest
please.
Honest opinion.
Yeah.
Did I nail it or did I mess it up?
If you want my honest opinion?
Honest opinion.
Okay. You sent me your first draft and you asked for my opinion on how a bar works.
True.
And I just want to say it made me feel very good that I was able to help you on how a bar works. Because I did send you notes, and afterwards I am telling you, Megan, you nailed it. You absolutely nailed it to the wall. It was perfect. I really think the descriptions that you put in, I don't know what the underworld is like. I don't know if that's a spoiler. I don't know what the underworld is like. I think you gave that away a little bit, but I do know what a tiki bar is like. And you absolutely nailed that to the wall. So if some people are very, very interested in the descriptions of what tiki bars are like, and then what bartenders do immediately after the tiki bar closes, this book, I really think you got it. And there is a lovely scene in the first book that involves mead that I did not help you on at all. I didn't have anything to say about that one because that was perfect. The way you describe the bar scenes in the fantasy world that you have made me want to drink so bad. Perfect. So nailed it.
I have to say too, just real quick. I know you're probably trying to get me off the air here, but I'm going to keep talking. The second book, she plays drinking games with Bacchus. So you can look forward to
the god of wine.
The god of wine. So it's a little bit more wine rather than tiki in the second book, although she still works at the Trident Tiki Bar. So in Laguna Beach, which is made up. Like, just to be clear, I made up the Trident. It's not based on anything in real life. All similarities to people living or dead are completely coincidental.
That's Kurt Vonnegut. I noticed you have a Kurt Vonnegut quote right behind you.
Yes. Yeah.
Shoot, we just lost Megan. Megan, are you? Shoot, we just lost Megan. Oh, I wanted to end the night and okay. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me see if I can get Megan back here for you. 1 second. Let me just see if I can get her. Oh, there she is. This is my friend Megan, everybody. This is my good friend Megan. In order to get the internet correct and in order to see her, I haven't been able to see Megan for a very long time. She has been broadcasting out of Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. It is great to see you. Let me give you a big hug.
Wonderful to see you too.
This is Megan, everybody. Dun dun dun. That's where all that Kyle. I love that Bon Bon immediately figured it out. Bon Bon had no chill. She threw that right out.
Nice. I missed that. I didn't see that in the comments.
Oh, I'm hawk-eyed to those comments. So Megan, where can we pick up your book?
So I do sell them all direct at meganhaskell.com. You can get ebooks and signed paperbacks. The audiobook of Aether Bound is also available.
There he is, the great gloved one. The hand gave it away.
But the ebook, actually everything's also available wide. So if you want to shop on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or whatever, it's also available there. But of course, I prefer go to my site. Check me out.
Megan
Haskell. I've got merch. You can buy shirts.
You buy shirts. Yeah. And the only place you can buy the menu is meganhaskell.com.
The only place you can buy the menu is meganhaskell.com.
If you want a Dr. Cush's exotic drinks menu, I would be. Are those coming out of like your shipping?
Yes, they come from my house.
I would love to sign some of those. Oh yeah, scoot this way.
Oh,
yeah. It seems like it's a much bigger bar. It's teeny tiny. So
we are literally touching
shoulders, and it does look like that. I would love to sign some of those to send out to any cushies that want it. So let's find. Yes, it is. We will find a way to do that, Bon Bon, for you. I know that is that. Espen says, "What a dream team." Thank you, Espen. You're the dream. That's Megan. What do you think of the drink?
It was good.
It's good,
really
right?
Good.
You drink that in a tiki bar, right?
Absolutely.
All day.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Get
That
trash real quick. but
yeah.
that's all right.
Listen. Well,
Yeah.
you're staying here tonight. So yeah, we don't start shows and send people home. That, guys, as we say, is that pop on over to meganhaskell.com. It is. Can they get it in time for Christmas at this point?
Yes.
Yes.
If you're in the U.S., international
The
shipping.
only person I know that is
possible.
not is the dream team himself, Espen. He lives right next to Santa, so hopefully Santa can get that for you. In the meanwhile, hop on over to meganhaskell.com. If you guys are fans of mine, please remember that these classes will always remain free. But if you can help out, I have a Patreon and a Venmo right down there. Like, subscribe, send everything out. And if you can't do any of those things beforehand, support Megan and also show up. Remember, I do classes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday here at 6 p.m. At youtube.com/cushtender. I am going to give you guys just a quick option to join. There we go. If you guys want to join and take a shot with us afterwards, we'd love to see you. I'm going to run these credits right now, and then we will be back to take a quick shot with author Megan Haskell, meganhaskell.com. Read her books, and the moment the next one comes out, I have so many more. I had like 50 questions, and I didn't get to any of them. So I have so many more questions that I have to ask you. When the third book comes out, you'll be on here, and maybe the moment I finish the second book, like the slow reader I am, we will figure this out. I see real quick, in case anybody was worried, Bon Bon is running to her computer to put on her new hat.
I will be right back.
You'll be right back. She'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to run this, and then we'll be back here in just a moment. Cheers to all of you. And as we always say, bye-bye. All right, we are back here. First of all, there is a question in the from the crowd, from not just the crowd, DC Debbie Clark, winner of the 2023 Kentucky Derby. We have to know, Bon Bon, does Mr. Bon Bon wear hats as well?
All the time.
All the time. Your hat, Bon Bon, is spectacular. Now, Megan doesn't watch as often as maybe she should. This is 10 weeks in a row of new Bon Bon hats. We are trying to set a new record, I think. I don't know what the record is. I don't own a Guinness Book of World Records, but that hat, Bon Bon, is spectacular. I do want you to notice. Look how cool that's a bar behind her.
Oh, really?
Bon Bon.
Oh, wow.
Bon Bon is the greatest. She is. She's watching a tiki bar from another tiki bar.
From a tiki bar.
Speaking
amazing.
the hat. We're getting. And she's drinking. Bonbon is the great. Bonbon, are you coming to Arizona Tiki Oasis?
Oh, yes, I have my tickets.
Okay.
I just have to get my hotel room.
Okay, I will. So it looks like I will also be there. So if people are interested, I will be heading out to the Arizona Tiki Oasis in, I want to say April, because hopefully it's in April. All right, perfect. Okay, great. Yes, DCW Clark says Bonbon is the greatest. She confirms it, and I think we can all confirm that. Speaking of the greatest, another of the greatest is our good friend here, Richie the Whiff. There's our guy. Invented the Whiffin' Cube. I gotta know, Rich, what are we working on? Oh no, Rich, I can't hear you. Okay, it's all right. Rich
it's an internet alarm
there it is.
clock. Yeah,
an alarm clock. So
Yeah,
Rich,
Rich
have
the weather in it and all that kind of stuff.
Rich is one of he's like one of those engineers. He's like one of those
Like a
guys that
maker?
does. He's like a maker. He's like an inventor. I don't even want to say an engineer. He's an inventor.
maker.
He's a maker. He makes stuff constantly. For Halloween, he was printing out the gun for Chewbacca. For this one, that is an alarm clock that has the weather inside of it. It just makes me feel good that anybody as like makerish as our good friend Richie the Whiff even cares about what I'm doing.
Currently raining.
It's currently raining out where Richie the Whiff is. He's a tinkerer. It's good to see you, pal. Hopefully the weather clears up for you, but I know where you live. I doubt it will, but I hope it does.
Where does he live?
He lives on the East Coast. I don't want to dox our
Yeah.
friend. I don't want to dox our friend Rich, but I know he lives out on the East Coast. Yeah,
Right.
but the East Coast got that East Coast weather. Always a pleasure, my friend. As we say, never a chore. Till next time. And my little Bonbon, you are the greatest, and we will see you. We will be back here Monday, but we will have a Kush meetup. I just want to see all you guys at the Tiki Oasis. So we will see Bonbon there. We will see a lot of people out there. Thank you guys so much. As always, we will be back here Monday. Please go over to meganhaskell.com, buy that book, and let's push our friends. Let's get Megan trending on that New York Times bestseller.
There we go.
That's on you guys. Okay. Until next time, what do we always say? We always say,